Happy Sunday, everyone. At least it's Sunday while I'm recording. I'm a bit late in getting my podcast up this week, and I'll explain why as we go, but I was waiting for the final delivery of an item. What does that have to do with my podcast? I kind of teased it on LinkedIn this week, and my podcast today, you're listening to Communication is an Art, and I think this week showed it more than any other week that I have had. I was getting a new refrigerator. Yay, me! However, I was getting it because my old one died. It's been a very expensive 2 weeks in my house. I just got to suck it up and get it done, and it's just the cost of life, right? I always say I'm lucky I have a roof over my head and heat and water and electricity most of the time, which started the whole shebang, but it still can be annoying. What's really annoying can be customer service. Today's episode, welcome, is called Customer Service: The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. Sometimes customer service can be great. They can help you, they can be supportive, they can get your work done. You look forward to getting that little survey thing so you can actually give someone a good recommendation. And I highly suggest it, and I always give a good recommendation. I want to balance it out a little bit with the bad recommendations, the bad surveys I fill out as well, but I really always want to give credit where credit's due. The people who are polite, they understand, they cut through the angst and help you solve your problems. Ugly communication, bad communication from customer service can throw us out the door. I will say it did take me 4 days and 3 deliveries of bad items to drop the F-bomb. I'll say it. I did it. It's not something I do, especially with a delivery person. It's not where I want to be, but I was just so aggravated. Round 3 of the refrigerator came dented. We'll just put it at that. So, ugly customer service. I want to start by saying that, and I'm looking, if you see me leaning around here, I'm leaning. This is a conversational podcast, so I am being conversational. I'm ringing the bell because when someone walks in a brick and mortar store or someone comes into an office, the person at the counter, the receptionist in an office, the admin, that is the first encounter with a business. And we always say you need to make a good first impression. Why? Because if it's a bad impression, it will last forever and you will certainly tell people about it. And trust me, I have told people about the bad service, customer relations that I was given this past week. When we now have entered that digital world, that world where we don't see the person on the other end of the phone, where we have to press 72 different numbers to even get to a human being, we're already on edge. I think we're on edge before we even make the phone call because we know the potential for disaster. Isn't that sad? Is that what you want someone to say about your business? I certainly hope not. I hope you don't want people to not call you and not reach out when there's an issue simply because they're afraid of what might happen. But it's true. That customer relations person should be trained to see themselves as the salesperson at the counter or the receptionist at the doctor's office or at any professional service. They're the person who should greet you with a smile, welcome you in, See what they can do to help you, not to hinder you. What was my bad experience? I'll go into a little more detail. My refrigerator died. First, I had to replace my whole circuit breaker system. Okay, I did it. I knew that was coming. But the refrigerator still didn't work. It was on its last legs, and this was the final straw that broke the camel's back. All right, so I bought a new refrigerator. They were very nice. They were very kind. And then the delivery started. So first you're told to be home from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m., which basically means you have to take a full day off work, or even if you're working on your own, you have to like mentally change where your attitude is and where your focus is, which I certainly had to do. Day one, the refrigerator, when they went to take out my old refrigerator, the guy told me that the shutoff valve to the ice line was seized up. That was his word, seized up. And he wasn't going to be able to do it. I had to have a plumber. All right, so $200 later, and the next day, the plumber is coming. The next person at their service said, it will come in the afternoon. I will definitely mark it down in the afternoon so the plumber can come in the morning. It can be all ready. The refrigerator came 5 minutes before the plumber was due to arrive. I knew the plumber was on his way because he called me and said, I'm on my way. I picked up the stuff I need. I'm on my way. Didn't matter. The guy who, and I will say the air quality was horrible. I don't blame him for not wanting to get out of the car. But he called me from the truck and said, okay, let me see if I can rework the schedule for an hour or so, and I'll call you right back. And then he drove away. I have yet to see that guy or that refrigerator again. That was attempt 2. Attempt 3, because now I've had the plumber, and he said, I don't know why this guy couldn't turn this shutoff valve. It worked just fine. I just used a little muscle. Okay. $200. The third truck comes back the third day, and they take it off to bring it in, and one of the guys yells at me from the truck, do you know you bought a dented refrigerator? Okay, that's when I dropped the bomb. Like, customers, we called customer service. They were like, tough luck. We can't do anything today. You'll just have to take another day off. In the midst of this, I was told lie after lie, omission after omission. You can call it anything you want. Basically, I was told I was being moved from one person to a supervisor and just put in a queue again. It was lovely. The best part of it, and I know I'm ranting. I know, but sometimes a podcast can give you the ability to rant. I was told the best way to make everything work was to pray on it. And now I pray for important things. Anyone who knows me knows that I am a person of my faith, and I pray for important things. To be honest, I ain't going to bother God to figure out the schedule for my deliveries. That seems a bit much to me. I'm asking him some really important things, right? Him, her, it, I don't know, whatever your preference. Some really important support for friends right now. It doesn't include delivery of refrigerator. So finally this morning at 7:30 a.m. on a weekend morning, the refrigerator arrived. I will be going shopping this afternoon to spend hundreds of dollars to replace the food in my refrigerator. Okay, off that soapbox, back to customer service. Don't you understand when you hire someone, when you train someone, how important that first communication is? Now, the delivery was coming from a third party, and every time they called, when you called them, it said on their tape, we're the last mile delivery. I know a lot about last mile deliveries and last mile pieces because of a previous job I had held. So it kind of means like if there's a big transit system, what is going to take you from that bus on the main route to your house or to your block or to your neighborhood. That's the last mile system. So this company understood that. But what they didn't understand was the first mile, the first interaction, the first time that someone is dealing with their company. So here's my warning, my suggestion to all of you. It is time to review customer relations. Make sure that when they say something's recorded, somebody is actually listening to the recordings just ad hoc, not only when there's a litigation or a major issue. Listen, train your people well. It's one of the things I think that people come to me for. No, I'll take that back. I know people come to me for communication training for their teams. They want their teams to be out and about. Well, think of your customer relations and that 800 number as the out and about for your company. Make sure that interaction is good. Make sure that it's the first mile out, because you never get a second chance on the first mile. You either succeed or you fail. And I bet the people on the other end of the phone are bored or aggravated or annoyed. That's not my problem. I'm going to be really clear about it. It's not my problem. You need to train your people to be calm and clear and listen to what the person's problem is. That's a whole different topic, not listening to what someone's saying. But for now, since it's 12 minutes in, I am going to go. I'm going grocery shopping. I'm hoping you're listening. And if you have a company where someone is calling that 800 number or someone is walking into your office, do them a favor, but do your organization a favor by making sure that they are treating people with respect, cutting through the clutter, and making sure that issues are resolved the first time. If you want to learn more about training your staff, I'm here. I'm ready to help you. We can do something virtually or in person. I am here to help you. So that's how you have to get a hold of me, down below in the notes. I'm ready to help. Thanks so much for listening to me vent today, and also for listening to the podcast, Communication is an Art by Pamela Lippitt Communications, as your weekly podcast. I'll be back in time with a much better topic. I'm very excited. I'm actually re-editing and replaying the very first time that I did a LinkedIn Live quasi-podcast. So much of it is still true, and I can't wait for you to hear it next week. So have a great day, great evening, great whatever when you're listening. Bye-bye now.
I wanted to share with you a new offering from my company, Pamela Lippitt Communications. I'm actually offering a communications audit. So who is this for? It's for a company, a nonprofit, where there's new leadership, new board members, or new senior hires who may not be up to speed and are seeing different things when they're looking at different pieces of paper, because really it's the new people who are really diving in and looking at things. It could be because you have new programs or new clients or new services, and you want to give them a consistent message about your company. It may be that people are asking the same questions all the time. That means you should be answering it in your materials so they don't have to ask. And it's also if you're seeing internal frustrations among your team. Maybe they don't have the right materials they need. So if you're interested in a communications audit for your company, I am giving a bonus for anyone who mentions hearing this on the podcast. Not only will I do a communication audit of your materials, but I'll also come in person or via Zoom and meet with your team to go over all the materials as we start and as we finish to make sure everyone's on the same page. So with that, shoot me a text or an email if you're interested, and I am happy to reach out and discuss how your communications can be smoother more concise, and lead to more business. Thank you.